Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review Rental Family. This is the newest film from director Hikari. Brendan Fraser plays an American actor working in Tokyo who starts working for a rental family agency where he plays stand-in roles for strangers. So he has to pretend to be somebody's dad, he has to pretend to be people's friends.
It lends itself to lots of zany scenarios, some funny, some very heartfelt. And his biggest task of all, which he has thrown off the deep end into, is being somebody's long-lost American father. The film absolutely has its heart in the right place. It seems very attuned to the atomization and loneliness in modern society, especially in urban environments. And there was also this motif of looking at people inside of windows who are in their own little worlds, because this film is about entering little people's worlds and changing or transforming them, hopefully for the better. And different characters at this rental agency seem to represent different perspectives around the morality therein with imitating people in the real world. Sometimes they're asked to do some services that feel wrong to them, and other times it seems like that this is a net positive in somebody's life, and that perhaps rather than seeing it as pure deception, maybe they're just doing a really, really nice thing for somebody. And Brendan Fraser gets to wrestle with these questions while also having these relationships become very real to him. One little problem I did have with this, especially in retrospect, is Brendan Fraser, his characterization is he's just a person with a void or several voids, and then the families that he's rented out to seem to kind of obviously fill those roles. I kind of just want to know how he ended up in Tokyo, and maybe he has some flaws or personality quirks, but he really is just a big old friendly softy man, sweetheart. And you can always count on him to be the moral center of the film, which is nice. You just really like him in the film. You want him to be your family member as well. But it would have added an interesting layer if he had to wrestle a little bit more and maybe had a bigger ego about, well, I care more about myself than these other people, and then maybe he has somewhere to go. But instead, he's nice the whole time.
I think it mostly works in this movie's favor, though, that Brendan Fraser's just a big old sweetie, because this movie is nothing if not just pure and sweet and nice. And it just builds to a lot of heartwarming climaxes. Movies like this seem to exist to give the audience a little bit of hope and feel good about other people and your ability to make connections and, build things with even strangers. Some of the situational comedy was pretty well set up. The screenplay is well structured, if, conventional and often kind of predictable with where it goes. And the character, he's going to feel bad about doing this over here, and then he's lying, and so he's going to have to confront that over here. It does hit a lot of the expected beats, but I'm not going to complain too much about that if the movie is really hitting me emotionally. And I would say that it was pretty impactful, but it didn't quite get me on the level that maybe I was expecting, where I kind of thought that I was going to get those Coda moments where the movie is just reaching inside of my eyeball to take out tears. And there's nothing you can
forcibly
do to fight
extracting
it.
them. I think it kind of tries that, but it's a little more gentle with the audience, and it doesn't try to hammer that super hard. A lot of our audience was weepy, and I did have a few tears myself in a couple of scenes that were just so utterly sweet that I just couldn't help it, and I was like, oh yay, this is what the movie's supposed to do to me, hooray.
I got a little teary at scenes, but I think the reason that I didn't get to full on crying here is because I didn't feel it sucker punched me, surprised me as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel an element of surprise is helpful to really get you in your feels. This movie wasn't totally full of surprises, and I left it being really, really happy with it. I was like, oh, that was so charming and nice, and I got my fill of laughs and I got my fill of tears, but I don't know if it's the most memorable film. I felt that excitement that I had throughout watching the film fade a little bit quickly after, and I think that's mostly due to the fact that the film follows the expected beats and it didn't really exceed my expectations. Now, Brendan Fraser here, I had a great time watching him in this film. I think he was pitch perfect, and his facial expressions, he's just so genuine, and when his heart is broken, yours is in the audience as well. I really think he was excellent in the role. I couldn't imagine anybody doing it better than him.
I mean, Brendan Fraser's face is so elastic in this movie, and he carries warmth and heartbreak really well and often both at once. His face makes for the perfect vehicle for the audience to be easily invested in all the emotions that this film wants to give you.
Never feels like he's trying to force it, and he does have a big load on his shoulders carrying this film.
And the standout of the supporting cast to me was easily Akira Emoto, who plays a funny old man who ends up breaking your heart.
They really spend a lot of time together, about 3/4 of the way through the film, and that's when that character really comes alive and sort of breaks your heart. And Akira Emoto's performance is just some amazing work. And again, like, just felt totally effortless.
I felt really drawn to that character kind of immediately, instantly from his first scene. I was watching him, I feel, more intently than other players in the supporting cast who I enjoyed, but there was something about Akira Emoto's energy and his unpredictably funny behavior.
Mari Yamamoto and Takahiro Hira also get their due as fleshed out characters by the end of this film, and I thought they were both really good. The cinematography here was pretty standard, like, it was very white balanced at all times.
Very digital, clean looking.
Yeah.
You're not really supposed to notice.
If you notice, like, the filmmaking or the editing, it's probably not working that well for you because it's just supposed to not occur to you. And I think this is a fine choice. Like, I don't have a problem with it. But there were actually some really nice touches with the cinematography. And like I said, this window motif that it creates.
And I thought Yonsei and Alex Summers' score was also pretty nice. Instead of the usual just warm strings, there are a lot of like bells and twinkly instruments.
Very twinkly movie. Yeah. The score was comforting, upbeat, gentle, a nice compliment to the film. And overall, I think you should see this if you want your heart warmed. It's a nice family film. You can watch it with your non-cinephile parents. I was like a pretty firm 8 out of 10 when I finished it, but again, I think it faded from memory kind of quickly, and so I'm at a 7.
Yeah, I'm at a 7 out of 10 on this one too. Let's talk about awards now. So I had some fairly high expectations going into this one due to the fact that Searchlight is the studio, and it seems positioned as their maybe biggest awards priority of the season. And it seemed like a movie that could win the People's Choice Award at TIFF. And I gotta say, if I didn't know all that about this movie, I would probably think of it as, a good TIFF movie. A solid TIFF movie. I don't know if I'd watch it and go, oh, that like is an easy slam dunk People's Choice movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would have thought it's a slam dunk awards contender, but it has some elements that make sense. For example, Brendan Fraser is so good in the lead role that, if the movie's a player, he can get nominated and it wouldn't be that difficult to do. And I can see a supporting nomination possibly for Akira Emoto if the film's campaign really takes off.
Yeah, but I didn't even feel like that was a slam dunk. Like, oh, these are performances that will get nominated no matter what. Like, I'm not sure Brendan Fraser would stand apart from the film in terms of getting nominations, racking up some awards points. Yeah. Maybe some critics groups would put him in and not the movie. But, I mean, the movie itself, like, it's not really a top 10er. Like, I can't imagine many people having this in their top 10 of the year, or at least not critics, but I guess one thing we're missing is the audience perspective, because I've only really talked to other press about this film, and they all kind of agree. They're mostly on the same page as us, more or less varying degrees of, did you find this too manipulative, or did you like that this was a little manipulative? Did you feel manipulated in the right way? Mentally, at least, I've definitely knocked it down a peg as like, I'm not sure if this is an awards film. I'm kind of remembering Saturday Night from last year, where it seemed like it was going to bowl over TIFF and just be like a People's Choice film and run away with it. And then we saw it, and then we thought it was good enough, like it had the goods, but people just didn't resonate with it quite enough, and ultimately, like, it didn't even place. I do think that could happen with Rental Family. Like, I don't know if this is going to win or if it's going to place at all.
Yeah, jury's kind of out on that one.
Yeah.
If it comes in the top 2 and maybe 3, I probably will continue to be predicting it for Best Picture.
Really?
If it places, if it wins.
See, we have a tight screenplay category this year, and you already took it out.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So I agree with you that it's that I would also put it at number like 6 right now.
Look, if it won the People's Choice Award, it would show that people really love this thing. A crowd pleaser like this, I don't necessarily expect to be like my favorite movie of the year.
Or like a critic favorite.
But I think I'm like capable of liking it even more than the level that I liked this.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that this movie stands out as much as I thought it would. Again, I'm going to just like kind of put my stock in what the audience has to say. If they vote for it for People's Choice, then okay, it's like a huge deal for people.
And already on Letterboxd, I'm seeing, The Shape be like, there's not that many people who are giving this 4.5 and 5.
I think it's going to get a 3.6.
Yeah, I think it's going to get like
Letterboxd. It's not
3.6.
that good.
I'm not really seeing this like having the level of reactions where this would be a clean People's Choice winner. Honestly, maybe I'll put Hamnet up there. Maybe I'll have to look elsewhere and see if there's any premieres that I'm just missing that are kind of crowd movies that maybe weren't even on my radar.
I think that it actually does have really a max of like 4 nominations.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Maybe
too.
casting can happen, but
Like, I don't think editing would happen.
No, and score, I did say I liked it, but I don't think that's happening either. Like, even the SAG ensemble potential was not like as slam
That's
dunk
what gets
as I
me.
kind of thought it would be. Aside from Brendan Fraser and Akira Moto, I didn't feel that the other performances were like incredible.
Yeah, I feel like the most deserving award component would be Brendan Fraser for Best Actor for me personally.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Do you think it'd be fun to piggyback onto Brendan Fraser's shoulders?